One of the most disturbing ideas comes not in youth, but in middle age, when life begins to decline. What if my whole life has been spent looking in the wrong direction? What if the science we were following was not the real truth, and the answers we were given were wrong? For decades, we have been told that we are an accident, a mistake in chaos, a tiny speck in an indifferent universe. But what if this is a hoax? What if evidence of a higher intelligence has already been found, but is being deliberately hidden from us? Some renowned medical scientists have hinted at this between the lines, their discoveries causing awe and sometimes fear. If this is true, we will have to admit that we are not just observed objects, but part of a carefully designed plan, and a co-creator who knows about each of us. Subscribe to the Secrets of Longevity channel, because in this video, we will reveal 7 impressive facts that scientists tried to convey, but whose voices were drowned out. In the finale, you will find the most shocking truth, the forbidden theory of Anatoly Akimov, which can completely change your perception of the world. Anatoly Akimov was not just a physicist and researcher. He dedicated his life to logic and precise methods. In his youth, he believed only in proven facts. But by the age of 50, after many experiments, he took a step that stunned his colleagues. He entered a church and crossed himself. When the priest asked, "Do you believe in God?" Akimov answered, "I don't believe, I know." What did he learn that changed his view of the world so much? In his works, Akimov claimed, "Our world is not an accident. Gravity, electromagnetic fields, nuclear forces, everything is arranged with incredible precision. Any deviation, even the slightest, would destroy the universe." According to Akimov's calculations, a change of even one physical constant by just 1% would cause the collapse of the universe. This is not evolution at all, but a deliberate engineering plan. The scientific community treated his hypotheses with distrust. But if Akimov is right, then someone created us according to a specific plan. This discovery makes you think, if the world is not a coincidence, then our lives have a deep purpose. Let's explore this idea in more detail. The universe, according to Akimov, is not a chaotic mess, but an extremely complex mechanism, where each part functions with an accuracy of up to the 31st decimal place. Gravity, the speed of light, the mass of elementary particles, everything is perfectly coordinated. Scientists confirm, if the fine structure constant, responsible for the strength of electromagnetic interaction, changed even by 0%, the stars could not light up. If the gravitational constant were off by just a fraction of a percent, the planets would not remain in their orbits, and water, which is the basis of life, would not exist in a liquid state. If the parameters of the universe were different, we could not exist. Akimov believed that such precision was the result of external influence. Someone or something had set up the universe as a complex system. Moreover, he claimed that these parameters were not simply set, but were constantly monitored to maintain the stability of the universe. This discovery changes our perception of everything that exists. If the universe is controlled, then a person is not a random object, but a part of a global plan. There are similar cases in the history of science. For example, in the 60s of the 20th century, the British physicist Fyodor Kolin, studying the process of carbon synthesis in stars, came to the conclusion that the probability of the random occurrence of this process is negligible. The formation of this element is so minimal that it is difficult to imagine. Carbon, the key basis of all living matter, could only have arisen under incredibly precise conditions. Fyodor Kolin, a convinced atheist, noted, "Someone tuned the universe." His thought echoes Akimov's ideas. It is impossible for chance to create such harmony. Think about your health. Our body functions with amazing precision. The heart beats about 100,000 times a day. The lungs take about 20,000 breaths, and the cells are renewed without interruption. Each cell is a small factory, carrying out millions of processes every second. Doesn't this strike you as a miracle of engineering? Akimov claimed that there is a mind behind all this, which not only created but also continues to support life. This is especially important for the elderly. As we age, we begin to value the health of both body and soul more. Simple actions, walks in the fresh air, breathing exercises, caring for loved ones, help us feel connected to something greater. Try taking 10 deep breaths daily, imagining how natural energy fills you. Not only does this improve circulation, it also calms the mind, allowing one to hear one's inner voice. Akimov believed that such moments of silence bring us closer to understanding the design of the universe. When the microscope was invented in the 10th century, scientists were amazed that each cell worked as if according to precise instructions, without chaos and errors. Akimov asked, "If mutations happen by chance and evolution is blind, how did something as complex as man come into being?" According to his calculations, it would have taken much longer for Homo sapiens to emerge by chance than our planet has existed. More time than the age of our universe. 13,800,000,000 years on the scale of a single human cell. There are about 3 billion pairs of DNA, and the error in copying them occurs less than once in a billion. It is like a librarian copying a 1,000,000-page book without a single mistake. Our genes are the unique blueprints that govern the construction of our bodies, minds, and senses. Akimov believed that there was a special design behind this amazing precision. Think about your own body. Every day it fights viruses, heals wounds, and keeps warm. This is not a random process. It is a program embedded deep within us. However, Akimov did not stop there. He claimed that the information that controls us is not only in the body, but also in an invisible field that permeates all existence. He called it the information storage of the universe, not physical, but ethereal. According to his hypothesis, it is to this field that people with unusual abilities connect: clairvoyants, mediums, and those who are often considered fantasists. Akimov was not into mysticism. He conducted scientific experiments, and his conclusions turned out to be amazing. These people gain access to information that is impossible to obtain in the usual way. He distinguished 3 categories of such abilities. The first see events related to themselves or loved ones. The second gain knowledge from beings from other worlds. The third, contact the higher being that controls the universe. It was the third group that caused him the greatest concern. If such contacts are real, then there is not only a higher mind, but also a path to it. The one who masters this channel will be able to control reality. As an example in life, it is worth remembering the Soviet doctor Alexander, who worked in the 70s. Fyodor Kolin saved many lives by relying on his intuition. He said that before important operations he had a feeling of the right choice, as if someone invisible was telling him the right decision. Many of us have experienced similar sudden premonitions that saved us from trouble, or an inexplicable desire to call a loved one to make sure that everything is okay with them. For older people, such moments take on special value, because with age we become more sensitive to signs of fate. Remember, maybe you once had to cancel a planned meeting for no apparent reason, and this saved you from trouble. Fyodor Kolin believed that such manifestations of intuition are connected with the information field that surrounds us. He advised keeping a diary of intuition, recording cases when the inner voice suggested the right decision. This helps to strengthen self-confidence and allows you to live more consciously. Why was Fyodor Kolin sure of the existence of a higher intelligence? His views were based on the phenomenon of the speed of information transfer in the universe. Quantum particles located at opposite ends of space are able to instantly interact, despite distances of billions of light years. This phenomenon, called quantum entanglement, calls into question the existence of a limit to the speed of light. In 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for the study of quantum entanglement, which confirmed that the universe is connected by invisible threads. According to Fedor Kolin, information is transmitted outside of time and space, as if signals were occurring everywhere at once. This does not violate the laws of physics, but expands their understanding. Such a mechanism indicates the presence of the omnipresent intelligence that Kolin spoke of. Since ancient times, prophets and scientists like Akimov have spoken of consciousness as a thinking substance that permeates all things, rather than a traditional God. A historical example is physicist Max Planck, the founder of quantum theory, who argued that there is an intelligent force behind all the laws of nature. Fedor Kolin and Hans Akimov concluded that the universe is not a random collection of particles, but a carefully thought-out design. If such great minds saw meaning in the entire universe, then we too can find it in our lives. This is especially important for older people who often think, "Why am I here? What trace will I leave?" Akimov and Planck reminded, each of us is part of a greater plan, and our actions matter. Confirmation of Akimov's views can be found in the works of Kresy Morrison, president of the New York Academy of Sciences. In his article, 7 Reasons Why a Scientist Believes in a Creator, he presents compelling arguments. The first is the mathematical precision of the planet's orbits. The Earth rotates at an ideal speed, and if it slowed down, the day would last weeks, causing plants to wither during the day and freeze at night. The second is the vital energy of nature. The root of a tree grows through a stone. The fruit becomes juicy. Flowers exude a fragrance that cannot be explained by chemistry alone. There is intelligence of nature here. The third is the instincts of animals. For example, eels swim across the ocean to their birthplace as if following an invisible route. The fourth is the human mind, capable of love, dreaming, and searching for meaning. The fifth is the genetic code, which controls billions of processes forming the organism. The sixth is the proportions in nature, where each element is harmoniously balanced. The seventh is imagination. All these observations serve as evidence of the existence of a higher intelligence. The ability to perceive what is invisible to the eye as a spark of higher intelligence was something that inspired admiration in Morrison and others. Akimov came to believe that the world was too complex and diverse to be the product of chance. Morrison's story is especially inspiring because, as a chemist, he devoted his entire life to studying the laws of nature. However, it was in his mature years that he began to ponder the questions of why the universe is so harmoniously structured and why man strives to find the meaning of existence. His article, published in the 1940s, caused quite a stir and continues to attract those who seek a connection between science and faith. For older people, these topics become increasingly important. As time goes by, we increasingly think about the purpose of life and the legacy we will leave for our descendants. Morrison argued that faith is not just blind acceptance, but a logical result of observation and reflection. This is in line with the views of Akimov, who also came to faith through the study of formulas and scientific patterns. Think about what events in your life have given you a sense that the world is not made by chance. Perhaps it was the birth of a grandchild, a stunning sunset, or helping a complete stranger. These moments are like clues to a connection to something greater. If the universe is not random chaos but a deliberate design, then your life is filled with deep meaning. Your emotions, fears, and intuitions are not random occurrences, but signals pointing to something important. You may be familiar with that strange feeling when you want to change direction, turn back, or with a premonition that saved you from disaster. Remember the moments when, looking out your window at the sunset, you felt an unusual calm, as if an invisible voice was saying, "You are not alone." For older people, such experiences are far from uncommon. With age, we become wiser and more sensitive to the invisible. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read them. I have felt this for a long time, but I could not explain my feelings exactly. Your stories are really important. They prove that we are not alone in our thoughts. Science and faith are not enemies. Akimov, Morrison, Planck stated, "Great minds come to the same conclusion. Our universe is too precise to be accidental. If the whole universe has a creator, then your life has a meaning too." Talk to yourself. Every action, every good thought is part of a big plan. For the health of your soul, it is important to understand that you are not a random person. Do what you love, support your loved ones, enjoy the beauty of nature, because this strengthens not only the body, but also the inner world. Try this simple exercise. Write down 3 things you are grateful for every night. This will help you notice the magnificence of life and feel part of something bigger. Subscribe to the Secrets of Longevity channel and support our project using the link in the description. It is your help that inspires us to create videos that help you lead a conscious life. As Akimov once said, "There are things that cannot be seen with a microscope. They are discovered only in silence." The world is not just complex, it is structured with deep meaning. Everything is connected and responds. If there is a mind that controls the universe, it does not require proof. It is waiting for your attention. Try exercises for the health of the soul. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and listen to the silence. There may be answers hidden there that you have been searching for all your life. Leave in the comments the phrase, "I am beginning to wonder." Why am I here? Your answer will be the beginning of an important dialogue. Subscribe to Secrets of Longevity and stay with us to search for answers together. Let's try to understand the main questions of life. Akimov claimed that we do not simply observe the universe, but become participants in its live dialogue. Everyone at least once felt a strange feeling, as if someone is watching him, as if accidents are not conceived by chance, and thoughts come true with unusual precision. This is a touch to the invisible world. Perhaps they communicate with us, but we do not notice. For older people, this is especially important, because over the years we begin to value not only physical health, but also the inner peace of the soul. Simple rituals, walks in the fresh air, reading inspiring books, talking with loved ones, help to feel unity with the surrounding world. Akimov said, "The universe is not a simple battery-powered watch, but a huge cosmic mechanism where each element plays an important role. You are one of these details. Your place in this device is unique." The life story of 80-year-old Anna Ivanovna from Novosibirsk serves as proof of this. Once she heard an inner voice that made her cancel a long-planned trip. Later it turned out that the bus she was going to ride had been in a serious accident. Such cases happen quite often and remind us that we are connected to something much bigger. To maintain health and live a long life, it is important to trust your intuition and listen to your heart. Try spending 5 minutes every day reflecting on what brought you joy today. This exercise strengthens not only your spirit, but also your physical condition. Research confirms that people who regularly practice gratitude and conscious perception of life live longer and experience depression less often. Akimov attributed this connection to the key to conscious existence. Another story proves this. 70-year-old Viktor Petrovich from Samara worked as an engineer all his life and was skeptical about miracles. However, one day, while walking through the forest, he felt an extraordinary peace, as if nature itself was speaking to him. This event radically changed his worldview. Victor began practicing yoga and meditation, and now actively helps his neighbors plant trees. He says, "I realize that life is not only work, but also a deep connection with the surrounding world." These changes are especially inspiring for older people. It is important for them to find joy in simple activities, whether it is gardening, spending time with grandchildren, or reading. This not only prolongs the years, but also fills them with meaning. If these words touched your heart, be sure to share your impressions in the comments. Science leads us to faith, and your feedback motivates us to continue working. Subscribe to the Secrets of Longevity channel and support it by clicking on the link in the description. Together, we will reveal important topics that help you live your life consciously and find meaning in every day. Close your eyes and listen to the silence. Perhaps it is there that the answers to the most important questions are hidden. May each new day bring you good health, joy, and the feeling that you are part of a great plan.